Hey, it's Fabian, and this video is about the unconventional way how to handle difficult clients within fulfillment with the sales script. So whenever you are experiencing that the work with a client isn't going well or as planned with the client, especially if they have different expectations, this video is for you because I show you how to handle any difficult client and what to do about it with the structure of a sales script. So I noticed this with my friend and mentor because when I struggled with a client or some of the other team members struggled with clients, then he came in and scheduled a call with the client, with me, the client and him. And it was really interesting to see that he solved nearly any client issue within sometimes 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes, and the clients were happy again. And I always thought, okay, how is it possible? He was so upset before. How can he be happy now with what we're doing? And we haven't changed anything. And this is really crucial. You don't have to change anything within your fulfillment. It's all about how you handle the client. And I noticed this with a lot of calls what we had with, actually it was not that many calls, but always when we had these calls with clients and he took over, I thought, what structure has he in mind? How he is doing it? Because he couldn't explain it to me what he was doing. He was really good in sales, so he had also the sales script in his mind and he just pulled out whatever he needs. So he was really unaware of his skills. But I was looking from the outside perspective and noticed what he was doing within these calls. And it was really interesting to see the similarities between a sales call and what he was doing, how he handles the objections and the mismatch what was there with the client. So I really leaned back and thought, okay, what was going on here? And it was always the same structure. So the first thing he said, okay, what's the problem here? So it's the same thing within a sales call. You want to ask the client what struggles do they have at the moment. And that is also what he did. He asked the client, okay, what's on the table? What's different than you have expected? Or what problems do you experience? And what's the issue here? So then the client tells you everything, what he is upset with. And then he asked, okay, what are you really here for? So what goal do we want to achieve? What's the outcome you really want to have? He formulated a little bit different, that it's not a sales call, but actually it's still the same thing. You try to find the problem and then where you want to go. And that's all what he did. You always ask, okay, what's the real thing you want and how you want it? So then the client tells you everything that you want, what he wants, and then you say, okay, here's how we close this gap. So it's literally like this. It's a sales script that you might be familiar with, figuring out what the problem is, what they want, and then here's how we fill the gap. Because every time if you're struggling with a client, there is something that you haven't told the client about your service or product. It's always like this. I know this, or I can really remember back when I had a client and he was a really big client. It was one of the biggest clients we worked with. And he was a real entrepreneur who had done a lot of things. And I wasn't experienced that well within our company. But I had this project and of course there went something wrong. So the client had some different expectations of what we deliver and how it will be delivered. And I talked with my friend and said, yeah, can you jump on this call with me? Because I don't really know how to handle this client. And we sat then down and walked through the call and what I can do and how I can do it. So I jumped on the call and did exactly this, what I laid down. And this turned out was really incredible, because then he became a really good client of us and he was really satisfied with what we delivered. And this is really the key thing. And what I noticed there, I hadn't pictured the thing what we delivered in a way that he can receive it. I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but I trained my team on this very, very heavily, because this makes all the difference. So especially if you're a coach, consultant, trainer, expert, you need to know what kind of person you're talking to. So I talked to this also in a previous video, where I say, okay, make sure that you know what kind of character is the other person of. So there are different models, like the 16 personality test or MIBT, or the DISC model. So there are different models on and methods how you can know the other person, what kind of character they are. So basically the DISC model consists of 4 types of persons. So you have the red one, who is really dominant. You have the blue one, who is all about figures. You have this yellow one, who needs very close relationship. And no, this is more the green one, and the yellow one, it's always a little bit different to distinguish between them for me. But the green one is more, they need this close relationship, and the yellow one is jumping from one point to another. It's very spontaneously. So you need to be aware of what kind of person you're talking to, and then you also know how to handle them. And the most difficult person or client you can have is someone who is red and blue, because they are dominant and they need figures. And you cannot argue against figures, or it's really hard to argue. So always when I noticed that my team struggled with a client, was always about that there was a mismatch between the character my consultant was and the character the client was of. So they couldn't align, and the consultant wasn't able to change his character kind of for this client. And you really have to make sure that you are knowing what the client is from his character and how to handle this kind of character, because they're completely different. If you do something with a red client and you do the same thing with a yellow and green client, you're completely screwed. This doesn't work out. So if you need more information on this, I can make a video on this, how to handle the different characters. But with this video, I want to make sure that you are becoming aware of this, that you are asking what kind of person is there in front of me. And this is all what you need to know about how to handle difficult clients. You need to focus on what's the problem, what's the core underlying problem, what the client has and what they want to have, and lay down in detail what they want to get and how it works out, so that they really can understand how you're working. Because that's the number one thing why clients aren't satisfied in the end, because they don't know what happens behind the scenes within your company and how you would do your work and how the results were delivered. So if you know this, then from your call with the client and the client is happy, take this information and improve your process, the overall process on how you do the sales call, how you deliver and onboard them, and how you deliver it. Make it crystal clear that every client knows exactly what they want to get at what point, because then you can really avoid these calls with these clients. And you don't have to do this, what we are talking here with in this video. So if you need some help with this, just schedule a call with me. Otherwise, see you in the next video.